And we want to begin with that breaking news update. I'm Brittany Jeffers. Andy Sirota is on assignment. Sarah Hartsfield, the woman convicted of murdering her fifth husband with insulin, has now been sentenced to life in prison. The jury took less than an hour to come back with the maximum punishment on the 9th day of her trial in Chambers County. We sent this breaking news alert to your smartphone moments after we learned about the sentence. You can sign up for breaking news alerts by downloading the KPRC2 News app. And KPRC2 News reporter Bryce Newberry is live at the courthouse. And Bryce, this verdict comes as a lot of relief for those who knew her.
Yeah, Brittany, first, the victim here in this case, Joseph Hartsfield, his family, of course, is relieved, but so too this afternoon are her children and her exes. People from the past who say that Sarah Hartsfield has victimized them for years. This afternoon, she is a convicted killer on her way to prison for life. Take a look. This is the video of her being escorted out of the courthouse right after learning her sentence, learning her fate this afternoon. She did not answer any questions there on her way out. She got her hands cuffed while inside and then got loaded into the back of a van to go over to the Chambers County Jail before eventually she'll be transferred to a state prison. She used insulin to kill her husband in January of 2023, then ignored alerts about his dangerously low blood sugar level for almost a full day. 9 hours before calling 911, she set herself up to be his legacy contact, according to the testimony we heard, to get all of his Apple data transferred from his phone over to hers. While he laid there unresponsive in the couple's home, the lead prosecutor said she believes a key piece of evidence that swayed the jury here was Sarah also having groceries delivered. Sarah did not testify during her trial, but she did have a lot of body language on full display.
When she would come in, initially she appeared poised. She was very performative. I don't know if people noticed, but she carried the Bible, but then she would leave it. She would forget it. She didn't bring it back to the jail with her. She wore what looked like a wedding ring on her finger. But as people began to speak the truth about her, the facade wore off. She glared at witnesses. She indicated that her children were liars.
And the jury moved very quickly here on this verdict. In fact, we saw them focused intently and taking notes throughout the trial. Then yesterday, when they started deliberating, it only took about an hour for them to return the guilty verdict. And then today, it was under an hour for them to come back with the maximum punishment. Again, a life sentence here. So we actually got to hear from one of those jurors as he left the courthouse.
The legacy stood out a lot to people. The fact that, you know, it's 5 a.m., he's already been comatose for maybe 10 hours, or I don't remember the exact timeline for that particular message, but the whole legacy stuff. But for me, it was just the fact that for his insulin level, even if they drew the blood at the hospital, what the hospital provided the coroner with, right, had a high insulin level at that time, and based on what the endocrinologist explained, that it would be out of your system in 24 hours.
So the prosecutor asked for a life sentence in this case. She told the jury to send a clear and decisive message about how Chambers County deals with serial killers. In terms of the juror and his perspective about rendering this life sentence verdict, he said that they believe that there was maybe a pattern of bad behavior, because we heard during this trial about an alleged murder for hire plot that Sarah Hartsfield directed. We also heard about the time that she fatally shot a fiance back in Minnesota. That case she never got charged for, and neither did she get charged for the murder for hire. So she never faced any consequences. This is the first time, again, that she has really been in jail. And now it's been 2.5 years that she's been behind bars. We do not yet know where she's going to serve out this life sentence, or when she will be taken out of Chambers County and transferred to a TDCJ facility. But we do know now that she will be going to prison for life after never, ever being convicted of a crime before. Brittany.
And Bryce, following this for us, this trial step by step, thank you for your reporting. And tonight at 6:30, you can see our encore presentation of our documentary, The Two Sides of Sarah. We're doing a deep dive into the case. Again, that's tonight at 6:30 exclusively on the KPRC 2 Plus live stream.